தமிழொலி திசையெங்கும் கேட்டிட புதிய சிந்தனை பூக்கள் மலர்ந்திட
நமது நாளும் பொழுதும் மகிழ்வுற
நான வினோதமும் நவரச கீதமும் சேர்ந்தே தந்திடும் விசை தமிழ் இணைய வானொலியே www.visairadio.com விசை தமிழ் இது உங்கள் வானொலியே.
This is Marai. I am from Visai Radio.
Right.
So we would like to cover a good show today for the listeners as well as the viewers of Visai Radio and Visai Oli, the YouTube channel. So today I have Dhahtarya Bhat. He is from Karnataka born and now they are in Pune. So he has a multi-talent in art because he did his initially with the olden days art school, and he is very much expressing on the art details from the portraits to the landscape, and he is here in Dallas today. So I like to have a good show with Dhahtarya Bhat. So he is going to talk about the few of the big details about what is an art and how it gets into the kids or to the anyone who is interested in their creative skills, and how this can be transformed. So everything we are going to talk about. Hello, Dhahtarya Bhat. How are you?
Fine, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you talk about your initial days and what is in your way of art as a part, and how far you have been doing this along with your regular job, and you go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah, this particularly this art is a very good subject and very useful also. That is why these people are saying art is greater than greater artist.
Okay.
So that means art will give you more depth to the person, and it's a very good companion and very interesting subject. And generally, if you speak, everybody is an artist.
Okay.
In one or the subject, they are artists.
Okay.
So particularly, this is a God gift.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing is, we'll have to cultivate this, and we'll have to practice it. And more practice, if you do it, then you will have a success in this particular art. Particularly, it's drawing and painting. This is a very good hobby for even younger children as well as to older people also. During these younger days, suppose if you teach this art is very useful for the beginners, means very small children, to their handwriting, particularly that handwriting. There are many people, students, they are not good in handwritings. If you learn this particular subject, that means art, so your handwriting will improve. That is number one. And second thing is, your memory power will increase. And also, your observation skill to a minute things, that will increase. So, these are all will help you in your education also. Main thing is. So initially, this drawing is a subject which is taught in the school days. That is only because of this. Because students should, improve their handwriting. There are many students, they are just scribbling like anything. Instead of that, how to write it properly. That is also, writing is also an art. So that will be taught in the school. And similarly, the color combinations and observations. He has to observe the people. There are many things, the students are just neglecting it. But if you observe the things very properly, then only that will kept in your mind. And that you can describe in a manner of art. So that's called as memory art. So that will give you, your more memory power will increase. You can memorize. See, there are many things. You have to memorize, even in mathematics, you have to memorize the things. Then only your mathematics will improve it. This art will give you the subject to that actually. So, memory is one subject. There are many subjects are there in art. Memory drawings are there, and line drawings are there, and still life is there, and portrait is there, and similarly, sketching is there. Sketching means you have to just sketch it. But for the sketch, you must have a capacity to observe the things. That will in your mind. Then only you can sketch it. Simply you cannot sketch it. So for that students will see that. What is that subject? Suppose if a tree. So if the tree is, how is that tree? How much big is that? How many trunks are there? And what is the color of that tree? So these are all will come in your mind. So keeping it in your mind, you have to express your things in the form of brush. That means or a pencil or something else. That is called as an art. So that habits will have to cultivate in the children's. And that will give you more and more strength to the subject. You have to do that because everybody, is not this one. Some people may be having good in art. Some people may be having in music. Some people may be having oral this one. There are many things are there. But particularly this art subject, because I was in my school days, I was very much impressed because of this art. Art means it's a really full picture. That means you can develop your personality with art. In everything, fashion, discipline, and neatness, these are all will come in art. Because it is not simply you have to just make a pencil sketch and do it. You can adopt many things in the art. You have to adopt it, and you have to learn it, and you have to practice it. That is more thing.
So the way what you have explained it is very good. So the way what you are saying, the kids when they start their schoolings, they will have some within their classes. They will have to do some drawings. So from that they can start their initial habits to learn the art as a form of some creativity to how to properly depict the things, basically to draw it or something like that, right? So in that form, a age kid of 5 towards taking it from the age kid of college and now, how do you differentiate them? How that much level of understanding? Because you yourself born, you yourself drawn in that different ages, and you mentioned you have been to that 5 years of that, and but in between that you were talking to me before a few minutes back. So you give me that level of information, how it really changed you from that, how you observed it.
Yeah. See, initially everybody is doing the mistakes. And thing is, by mistake you have to learn everything.
Correct.
That is one thing. That is known to everybody. See, even in initial stage, the kids will start drawing it. Yes, simple drawing will be there. And they have no restriction of any subject or something else. Whatever that is in their mind, they have to depict it in a piece of paper. That is called in a very initial stage. So you should not say that you have to do like this, you have to do like this. You should not instruct it because it is their expression. They have to express their feelings because this is an art, is an inner heart. Art is inner subject that is in your mind. So what is in your mind, you have to depict in the form of an art. So that is come naturally. It may be anything. You see, suppose if you, for example, they are simply writing. It's a small person or small kids. If you tell them to draw a cat, cat is simply some 2, 3 legs, 4 legs are there, one tail is there, and face is like this. So simply they will do it in that fashion. But when you grow up, after age of say after 5 years or something else, then you will understand it. Cat is not only that. Cat has got many other characters and many other colors, and that imagination or
so you're basically saying that you will know the shades
of it. That is having more importance. That will develop. That one has to develop it. That is definitely is coming, because as you grow up, then you will have more understanding capacity and thinking. You can understand the colors. What is the color? What is the color of the cat? Cat cannot be of different color. It is not like that. See, there are certain things. See, suppose it is a donkey. Donkey is, this one, shape of this donkey, this one
Like
is
a half horse, and
half horse,
you'll
yes.
see the face like
Face like this. That's the difference.
Yeah.
You cannot make like this. So this is an
zebra.
observation.
Yeah.
So this observation skill will develop by the kids. So when you grow up, then as and when you grow up, you will have more and more deep in that, because you will have more in details. What is the character of this? So that is more important. Observation is a very important, and memory. Similarly, memories. So that you have to keep it in your memory, and you have to see whatever you are observing, that you have to keep it in your memory. So then only you can able to do this art properly. Otherwise, it cannot be. So with this skill, so people memory will also increase, and they can do it better. Concentration, that's more concentration. You have to concentrate on the subject. This concentration level will increase by this art. So even a kid can study very well, even if she is interested or he is interested in the art. He can concentrate on the subject, whatever it may be, in computer or it may be in science or mathematics, whatever. So that observation skill will increase.
So one thing I understanding from you, the way that you are saying the observation and the creative
Memory.
skills and everything. See, I want to understand this. See, there is everybody we grow up in our parents'
Right.
parenthood,
Yes.
and they teach us something. Obviously,
Right.
My father would have taught me, and my
Yeah.
mother would have taught. But to identify myself as like I am whom I am,
Okay.
right? What is my patience I have? It. Say today is my world. Our phone has changed us a lot.
Correct.
So the observation is kind of reduced to some extent. I am
Right.
able to agree to that. So this is my age. Okay, that's fine. But when you're the kids, they can grow much better. So what you're saying, the observation is something their own self-learning
Yeah.
of about them, which can bring by art.
Yes.
That's what I'm able to understand.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm telling you. See, so you have to give them freedom for thinking. That is more important.
Okay.
You have to make them free. You do it. Whatever you are feeling in that particular subject, you draw it. It is not necessary, because see, nature is such. See, in nature everything is there. You cannot draw leaves or something else in a particular fashion. It is not necessary, because it is a nature. By nature there are a lot of things are there which you are not knowing it. So that is why particularly you have to draw in the same fashion. You cannot dictate that. So you have to tell them to do it in your fashion. Whatever you have observed, you have to draw it. They will draw it. Small kids, they will draw it. But even that is also okay. There is nothing wrong in that. That is an art. See, nowadays it is the modern art is there. Modern art is nothing but what? It is a combination of colors and techniques. That's a modern art.
So you mean modern art means that is drawn with the computers and
Yes,
something like-
exactly,
okay.
exactly. That is
Okay.
modern
That's
art.
kind of a visual design.
Yes, visual designs. That's modern art. But that has nothing to do with this observation or anything. You can do, because this is already, you have to depend on something else.
Correct. Okay.
So this is not your own ideas or something else, because 50% of the ideas are technically with something else. It is not necessary. But real art is you have to think yourself, and you have to memorize it, you have to observe it, and you have to draw by your own hand. That is the real art. But nowadays that has gone. Because of this computer, everything is computerized. So even color schemes and even any color mixing. So these are all with this modern techniques. There are many things. But in olden days, all these are particular colors. Colors means they even used to make the natural colors. Natural color they used
Have
to.
you ever worked with that kind of art? Like, no, I know today the level of art, you have acrylic and
Yes,
poster colors.
yes.
Right.
You see, I have tried it.
Okay.
See, there
So
are.
what are the different type of arts that you have drawn?
You see, I have made it watercolor paintings,
Okay.
and acrylic paintings, oil paintings, and pencil sketches. So these are all the things we can do it, but only the mode of the color techniques or something else is different.
So in case of oil colors, that's where that it takes longer time.
Yes, yes.
So with that being said, as an artist, which is your best way of rendition that you have seen in colors like that? Okay, I like acrylic itself. It's much faster to me and much, because I have done some of the paintings
Okay,
in my
fine.
school days.
Good.
So that way I can understand. But I never tried a single oil painting, because it starts with that, it will just one color will mix with another. I get like, what is this? It's I take off it that I just throw it.
Right,
So in your thought, so it is from that point, but to a long run to see as a paint, which is good colors.
See, in principle, this oil color is the best color. There is nothing wrong. As far as you are master in that, how to paint that.
Okay.
So oil color is the best color, because there you can mix up this color very fashionably. It can mix with, but provided you should have that knowledge of making these oil paintings, canvas paintings. Otherwise, this acrylic is the best media because painting. Acrylic, if you did any mistake in that, you can overlap it, and within a short period, it will dry off very fast. It is not necessary that you have to wait for an hour or 2 hours or something else. It is within another 10-20 minutes it will be off. Even if you make a blower or something, that's within no time it will get blown. But that is not in the case of oil paints. Oil paint you have to wait for some days. So then only you can apply or you can change that. Otherwise you have to go on mixing that. So that is the difference between oil paint and this one, acrylic. Similarly, in watercolor is only a media is water. Only thing you have to just apply the water along with the mix it with the colors, and you have to paint it, and that is very beautiful. There is nothing else. But in some cases, see where this in particularly these colors, you should not consider this black and white as a color. Black and white, these two are not colors at all. Black is a shade and white is a light. You can just leave a place as it is, that is white color. You make a shade, that's only with black, that's all. So black and whites are not considered as a color in the color schemes. They are not coming under color scheme.
Okay, so in that case, the black, the Indian blue, Indian ink, right,
Yeah.
we call in India. So there are a lot of artwork is like cartoonist,
Right.
right? The R.K. Lakshman
Yes.
and all, right? So how do you see them? Because they are the most popular ones who just used black and white.
Correct.
Right? In every newspapers, most of the days that we have seen,
Right.
their hearts are immediately it brings out any of the political satire
Correct.
of the kind, and it will just place in your eyes like with the information. So how do you see their transformation of art coming from the way that normally most people do it, and how they just took the art in that way? What is that?
So, you see, particularly that's called as a lining art. That's called as a lining art. But in your this one, you are asking about the cartoons.
Cartoonist. Yeah.
Cartoonists, they are specialized in that subject. They are drawing it based on the subject. And
based on the topic.
particular topics.
Yeah, topics, right.
Topics.
Yeah. Because
It may
today
be-
everything like now we
Yes.
are just talking on WhatsApp.
Correct.
They have given it in the proper way. In people can say it what they are thinking exactly.
Right. That you see, even that also with expression
Correct.
and with a very simple lines. People should understand the subject. Entire subject they will understand in that picture. So that is their mastery in that line art. Particularly, so the cartoonist, they are making cartoon of anybody else. It is not necessary that he should be a cartoonist or a man should be a very particular person or something else. Even a beautiful person or a very handsome person also can be made a cartoon. he can make it. He can make it. Even anybody, very beautiful personality, can be made a cartoon. That is because of their line, and it is his art. He will understand which subject.
So this one small information I still
Okay.
remember. For Indira Gandhi, the nose will be
Yes,
very bigger,
exactly,
right? So if you
exactly.
put that nose as a bigger with the lady,
Yes,
it will immediately
yes,
assume to
yes,
put Indira
yes.
Gandhi.
Similarly, this Lalu Prasad Yadav, you
Right.
must be knowing it. His ears have got a more hairs on that. So you just make it, and his personality will come.
Correct.
Even a small.
Gandhiji had a one small
yes, one
specs.
small. Yes, that's
So
all.
that is one simple
That's a
thing
cartoon.
that you will understand.
Yes, yes. You will understand by seeing any layman can understand who is this person.
Who is this person? What they are saying, it
Yes.
is like repeatedly they are saying in many
Right.
pictures.
Yes,
So
yes.
when it comes to cartoon, you just simply
Yes.
say, okay, this
Yes,
this is that
that's
person.
exactly. But it is very difficult to do it. Cartoon is a difficult subject in the art because you have to understand. That is what you have to. Your observation should be very minute in that, in their personality, which is very unique.
Correct.
So
That's
that
right.
is more important. That he has to put it in the paper of this. So that is more important in the cartoon. Cartoon is a very costly subject, and also cartoon picture is also very costly in the film industry.
Oh, so you mean to say
Yes.
the film industry,
Yeah,
they use a lot of cartoon?
The cartoon pictures are there.
Oh, okay.
That
okay.
ca-
Oh, the cartoon movies,
cartoon
right?
movies,
The
cartoon-
all you're saying, the Walt
Yes, yes.
Disney,
That is very-
and the Pixar,
yes.
yeah. Now they are making more money out of
Yes,
it.
yes.
Yeah.
That is very costly picture because they have to make all these things in a
Correct.
different manners. They have to make it feelings, talking, and other things. Cartoons will talk like that. So this are all will have a very costly affair of doing it because that artist has to make that one in that. So that is more important.
So that is the media industry now.
Yeah.
They are making
Yes.
more money out of
right,
it.
Right, that's very and not only that, that is the same technique will applicable to even Hollywood movies.
Correct. Yeah. For all the
Yes, in
bigger graphics
yes,
and
bigger
everything.
graphics they are putting the
So
same
I
one.
think even in our Kollywood, everywhere that they are
Yes,
using
exactly,
it as a
exactly.
background
Yes,
images and everything.
Same,
right?
same. That is why artists are required in all the subjects because they can understand it and they you see in background they will depict. See, this should be like this should be like this. So they will dictate the terms because otherwise you cannot express the things in the stage itself. Because you have to tell, you see, somebody should observe it and they should appreciate it.
Correct. Yeah.
So that is the main thing of art. Art also it should give a some message to the people.
Correct. Convey it.
Convey it
Convey it in
a
normal-
manner they should understand very easily. So that is why it is required. Even it may be commercial, it may be a normal art or whatever it is. So that is an art. So art is a subject you have to you can study in very depth. That means art is a very good subject in that. There is nothing wrong in this because you see even in commercial art also there are many advertisements are there. There are many advertisements which will give only a 5 second ad will be there, but that will give a subject. That means it will give a
Bring the information. what,
yes, that will
thing.
give it. That is more important. Message. That
Message,
is
yeah, right.
great message. The great message means it is for all the children. It may be for students, or it may be for any elderly persons, or it may be for healthcare. Everything is that will come by the artist only because his ideas.
Okay.
That is his ideas. He has got this idea. This idea, if you make it, yes, people will understand it.
That's good to know. So now going to one different international level of subject.
Okay.
The Mona Lisa, right? The heart being very flurried, being always we
Yeah.
remember, and everybody like to see it once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that kind of art? Like a very one is because they have preserved it. In that same way, in a country in India, do we have that same kind of importance to the art as such? Because I am just saying from the level, because we are the very old culture and everywhere that we have a lot of different languages spoken.
Right.
And we have a very strong history among us, but we don't have anything like that. We can say that we have preserved it, but still there is no much of support to do that. What do you think on this?
Yes, that is definitely. But still, we are also kept some of the old histories. It may be in painting, or it may be in stone carving, or it may be in
The Ravi Verma.
Ravi Verma, yes,
Right.
Ravi Verma's art. There are many museums are there.
Museums are there,
Yes,
right.
that is kept in this. And that is because that's an old history.
Yeah.
And they are all.
One thing is right. Actually, we have more different way of art in our culture
Yes, of course.
than when compared to Western
Yes,
culture.
yes, of
obviously,
course.
because we have already the
Right.
temple,
Temple,
where we have
yes,
a
South,
different
yeah.
scripture.
Yes.
Those are one is there.
Right, right.
And those that are multiple things are there.
Right.
You're right. I agree to
Yeah,
you.
because that is the only thing. Our culture will show that how much old our
How much old is our
culture and
art and
other
yes.
art and cultures. These are very old cultures and arts and very famous. That means even this stone carving, if you look at in South India or something else, it's a marvelous.
Marvelous.
Marvelous. Means how they have done it, it's very difficult to understand today, because nowadays we are doing it with many other techniques. But those days, how they did it, even there are some temples, they have no joints. They have no joints, absolutely.
We have that
Yeah, we
Tanjore,
have, yes,
period
Tanjore,
temple,
yes,
yeah.
there are something. And there are many Golgumat was built, and with some music.
Yeah.
If you go and just tempering on a this one pillar,
Pillar,
you
yeah.
will get a different sound.
Right. Yeah.
And how much they must have learned.
They might have
yes.
learned, and they would have been
They
more.
were- yes, this is our history, and these are all our culture. Stone carving is one of the famous cultures. That is the reason why it is attracted by many tourists.
Western culture.
Yes, Western cultures. They could not able to understand it. Even if you go to Taj Mahal, Taj Mahal is how they have built it. If you go and see it, it will come to know. You see how they have made this beautiful Taj Mahal in that. Many examples are there in India.
I agree. Yeah.
Yes, because there are many things. Even in Raja Ravamana, as you said, his paintings are famous. Though he is a king, he is from a king family. He is a king family. Raja Ravi Verma is he
From Kerala.
Yes, Kerala.
Mm.
And he has opted this painting as his hobby. And he did enjoyed it, and he has made a marvelous, because there are one museum is there in this one. There are many
Where is it? It's in Kerala? It's in
No, it's in Karnataka.
Oh, Karnataka. Okay,
There's
okay.
one museum. In that museum, they have kept that Ravi Verma's painting.
Ravi Verma painting. Okay.
Beautiful paintings.
Mm.
That is called as I told you, is a lady with lamp.
Lady with lamp. Okay.
It is simple painting. He has done it. How that lamp, it was covered with her hands, and the reflection of that light, it is totally it's coming on her face or something else. Beautifully he has made it.
Oh.
Yes, it is marvelous.
That's
So
marvelous.
yes, and it is a remarkable painting. There are many things are there. Only thing, as you said, we have not that much, Western countries or even Europe or something else, how they have kept this painting or architecture or something else in that fashion.
They have made it
Yes,
like
they have made it
more
historical
that
and,
which we
yes,
haven't
yes,
gone
yes.
to that
We
extent.
need
I
to-
agree to you.
we need to do it.
That has to.
Yes,
They have to
yes.
spend a lot of
Yeah,
money.
yeah. That
I
is the
agree.
reason why. That
That's
is
one
the
of the
reason.
reason I
Yeah,
agree.
that is-
So now, since at this age, how do you see now what you are trying to do in your leisure hours or something? Do you try to still draw
Yeah.
and something?
You see, for me, this is like a, as a teacher, as a friend, and fashion, this drawing and art or something else, and a very good hobby, which you can pass. If you don't have anything, yes, this is very useful subject to go with this. Because in this particular subject, you need not to depend on anybody else. It is only your imagination, your thoughts, your feelings. You have to express only with a small piece of paper or color or pencil or whatever it is. And it's really very helpful at the particularly in older age, where most of the people don't have they cannot neither play or they cannot go out or they have to depend on somebody else. That stage, this drawing is a marvelous subject. It's a beautiful subject for everybody. If they learn it in the initial stage, this is a very good hobby in their olden ages, and they can pass the time very nicely. It's a very good subject for everybody.
And as a age, it gets the problem with the memory, which is obviously that is one thing.
No, that's what I am telling. Exactly what your question is very important. You see, even if you take any artist, they will not go with the memory loss. That is because he has practiced this memory since from so many years, from the beginning of this. If you start with the beginning of this art subject or something else, if you take any artist, for example, they have lived long life, because they are totally, their memories and their observations, that is not concentrated on only on particular time or something else. Throughout their life, they are observing it. They have got a habit of doing it. They will not simply close their eyes, because you have to open your eyes and see it everywhere. This nature is so much big. So you have to see everything. Even it is bad, even if it's good, you have to see it. Then only it will have in your memory. Otherwise, only if you sit in a corner of the wall or something else, you cannot do it. So artist is a person, he is more oriented on this. Particularly, he is observing, his observation is very sharp. He observes immediately a person or an animal or a plant or a place or something else. Very minutely he observes it. If he goes, he will not just see and go. He will observe the things. He will take time, but he will observe the things that will be in his memory for a long time. So that is why the memory loss, as you said, the memory loss will be very less in case of this type of people. If they memorize the things, this will improve their memories. They will not do it because they have got, in somewhere else, very olden days.
So the way what you're saying, one is like the base on observation with the artwork and everything. They are not losing anything. They still have the same sense, mind with that same level of thinking, and their memory is always stays same. It looks very amazing, right?
Amazing, and artist will never become an old.
Oh, that's great to know.
Because he is getting very younger and younger because of his thoughts and his art or something. His imagination is changing every day.
So at the age that even he gets older, the artwork he does that still stays young.
Right.
So that makes very sensible. Right? Very sensible.
He will never be a old person at all. He is always young, and he will always doing all this type of arts throughout his life. So that is the beauty of it. So that is why one has to concentrate on this, and he has to learn it, because the learning is a process.
Correct.
It's a process. There is no end to that. So there is no younger age or older age or something else. This is as far as you are fit in this one, you do it. There is nothing wrong. So the art is a very interesting subject. Particularly, it's a very good for the old people or.
I agree to you. Certainly, so from the time what we have spoken, I understood. Art is something which is more creative, and it will give you more observation skills. And also give you more confidence in you, and also in a long run it will put your memory to remain same in your whole lifetime.
Yes, that's what I.
Certainly, it's good to know. Obviously, it's nice. Thanks talking to you.
Thank you
For coming to us.
Thank you very
from
much.
Visai Radio, I am Marai here, and thanks for giving us a good description about your thing.
Thank you.
And I like you to keep continuing your art.
Oh, sure. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Dhahtarya Bhat.
Thank you.
And thanks for the viewers and the listeners. Dhahtarya Bhat has really spoken to us in his own way of skills that he has shown from his own drawings, as well as he has just given us the way that how it will transform our lives also. It is not going to stop us any time. Having your works and schedules, age is not going to be a part of criteria. So you can still learn something on your own time whenever you have something that you can draw. See that something like which you can see, and draw it. I think that will help us, I think.
Right.
That's what Dhahtarya Bhat is saying. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thanks
much.
for having.
விசையுடன் தமிழொலி திசை எங்கும் கேட்டிட
இணைய வழி தமிழ் இதயங்கள் இணைந்திட
இணையம் வழி இசையே புதிய சிந்தனை பூக்கள் மலர்ந்திட
நமது நாளும் பொழுதும் மகிழ்வுற
நாண வினோதமும் நவரச கீதமும் சேர்ந்தே தந்திடும் விசை தமிழ் இணைய வானொலியே
www.visairadio.com
விசை தமிழ் இது உங்கள் வானொலியே.